When you created your OptimoRoute account, you would have selected how many drivers or workers you need. If you need to edit any information about your drivers or create more, this can all be done in the Drivers setting found under the Administration tab. First, I will cover how to create skills, which can be added to the driver's profile. When you add a skill, the only thing needed is the name of the skill. However, a code is necessary when needing to identify a required skill in an Excel or CSV file. Returning to the Drivers window, we can focus on creating and editing our drivers. As a note, you can create as many drivers as you need, but you can only plan as many routes as licenses you have. If you need to purchase another license, it can be done in the Billing section under the Administration tab. To add a driver, you can do so by clicking the Add Driver button. For simplicity's sake, the Add Driver window and the Edit window are the exact same, so all the information will be covered now. In Details, the only required information is the name. The serial number doesn't need to be used, but will become necessary if you plan to assign a driver to an order from an Excel spreadsheet. The serial number, not the name, is what is used to identify a specific driver in a file. Putting a driver's email into the email line benefits you in exporting routes. Email information is used for sending the routes to the drivers directly from OptimoRoute. To send the routes, click on the Share Routes button and select the Send to Drivers option. The navigation application gives you a choice to designate which application the driver uses, such as Google or Bing Maps. The email sent to each driver contains buttons to initiate the navigation, which will start on the driver's phone with the application selected here. If left as default, it will use Google Maps as the default application. Default vehicles allow you to set a default vehicle to be used by this driver. The assigned vehicle is important if you have different vehicles in your fleet that should be taken into consideration during planning. Next is some important information which affects a driver's scheduling. Their working time details will affect when the route is to begin and end. Allowed overtime basically lets you state if that driver is allowed to be considered for overtime during the planning stage. Limit route distance allows you to limit the miles or kilometers that the driver will drive in their route. Finally, for this page, we have the option or ability to schedule a break for this driver. Because most countries have required breaks for workers, this feature will allow you to set specified time windows for when your driver or drivers can take their break. The software then takes this into consideration and will schedule the break at a time when an order is finished. This way, employees get their breaks, but at the appropriate time so that the entire workflow does not stop all at once. The next tab we have is the skills. To add a skill to this driver, we can either type in our skill code or use the drop-down menu to pick which skill we want to attribute to. By adding a skill, this worker will be eligible to be assigned orders that are acquired. The next tab is cost, which is another important factor that the software will take into consideration. Here you can see the fixed cost for your drivers, their hourly cost, the cost per mile traveled, and what their overtime cost is. You can see how the defaults are set, so upon creation, every driver is given equal value. To plan routes for further cost effectiveness, accurate pricing values can be inputted here. The next tab is Start Location, which allows you to create a starting point for this driver that is not the depot. Whether you have different depots or workers can begin their day from home, activating this feature allows you flexibility. The following tab, End Location, allows for the same principles as Start Location. You can either have the end location match the start location, or again, alter it to have the route end elsewhere. Our next tab is Service Areas, which allows you to create a specific area to be serviced by a specific worker. When a driver is given an area, they will automatically be assigned to any order that is located within their area. If two drivers have overlapping service areas, then the orders will be shared between the two. Orders outside of these service areas will still be shared among all drivers. Service areas can be created by choosing the lasso tool, which allows you to create any shaped area you like. The next tab is Speed. This allows you to change the speed at which any specific driver may finish his route. Whether the worker drives faster or slower, it can all be reflected by adjusting their speed here. The last tab is Mobile App, where you can see the status of the driver's mobile app. If they do not have the OptimoRoute driver app activated, you can create an activation key here. Once we click Save, we have created our driver. With that, we have concluded our video for how to create and edit drivers.